70 in Ontario alone. Since 1994, the company's products and services have enabled communities and organizations to deliver customer-focused services and improve communications with residents and clients. Eastern US and Canada sales executive Jesse Parker has been with Maximum Solutions for 7 years and has been helping to improve the efficiencies across all types of organizations. And it's my pleasure to welcome Jesse.
Again, I'm Jesse Parker. I'm with Maximum Solutions. A lot of you may know us as Max Ice, the people that do have our software right now. Today I'm going to focus on our brand new product that we just released 6 months ago. It's called Max Galaxy. It's our new client web-hosted product that we host everything through our systems throughout the US and Canada. So the main things I kind of want to go through here today, I'm going to go through just a brief little bit about our company and who we are, and then from here I'll just show you kind of the high level things that we've improved in our software for your customer experience. So again, we are a software company strictly based on recreation software. We don't do anything else besides recreation software. So we've been doing it since 1994, based out of Minnesota. Have 1,100 customers throughout the US and Canada. So in 73 in here in Ontario alone, and those may be either municipalities, universities, organizations, sportsplexes, things like that. We offer both a client-server product and a web-hosted product. What we're going to talk about today, I'm going to go mostly onto our web-hosted product. 22 different applications that we offer, everything from your basic facility scheduling to registration to memberships to employee tracking, point of sale, league scheduling, the video boards that you may see when you walk into your arenas or sportsplexes, web integration for your websites, all of that stuff. 1994, we started our company and released our product called Max Ice. It was for the ice arena business. It was a facility scheduling, very, very, very basic facility scheduling product. And why we did this is because we were showing up at ice rinks too often and being double booked and things like that. So developed a small little product that we started selling through the US and Canada, which has grown just drastically over the last 20 years. In 1999, a big thing in Minnesota happened. All of the ice rinks were taken over by the municipalities. So what that meant to Maximum Solutions is that we had to get into the park and recreation industry. It was the best decision we ever made because our business has grown just over and over. We released our Max Enterprise product in 1999, and through that 1999 to 2014, the Max Enterprise product has just grown and grown and grown. 2013, after 36 months of burying our developers in a basement, we released our product called Max Galaxy. It's our next generation product. It's taking everything that we've heard in the last 20 years and producing the best product in our opinion out there. Taking a lot of the things that we've seen from some of our competitors that we really like that we didn't offer before, and bringing that over. 2014, if there is anybody in the room that is using the Max Enterprise product, we are not going away with that product. That product has a 10-year life cycle left on it. We've got plans for enhancements for the next 10 years for that product. These slides here, I'm not going to get into it a ton because I kind of want to show you a little bit more inside the software, what they look like, but you know, facility scheduling, biggest thing that people had asked for all these years was the ability to do drag and drop. This is the biggest thing that we heard from people, and it was an issue because of affecting your general ledger and the financial transactions. So we figured out a way to do that. Now we can do that, and I'll show that here in a moment. Also in here, we've also released our, this one's going a little slow today, and I don't know if many people do the campgrounds or shelters, but we are able to do full integrated shelter and camping reservations. So you can click on one of those links, it'll bring up a picture of the facility, show everything that they've got there. That carries on to our online facility booking as well. So we have a product where if you want to book out any kind of rooms or anything online, whether you want them to be requested, whether you want them to be reserved, or if you want them just to be showing that they're available, all of that's able to be done through your customer's experience as well. Customer records, we've done some really big enhancements to the customer records. Because of duplicate and merging and things like that, we've done some new things to kind of circumvent from that happening. Also, we've allowed to do things where you may have nannies, divorced parents. A person can be a part of multiple families or multiple accounts or multiple organizations. So you can really do a lot with the individual record now and moving into your bigger picture. And I'll show you just briefly here in a moment. Online customer interface. Now from your online customer interface, you can do anything that you could do in-house. You can pay for a booking, you can pay an invoice, you can register for a class, you can register for a membership, you can take and pay off any kind of payment plans, you can schedule payment plans, you can create all kinds of different account credit payment plans that you want to put on there as well. For the membership side, we can do event check-in now. So this is a big thing, is like a lot of times you would sell a open swim or a lifeguarding class or a learn to skate program or things like that. And you want people to be able to check in for those classes and programs. So now what we've done is taken where you can take your barcode, one single barcode for gift cards, memberships, registration, passes, anything like that, and use it all on one single barcode. To check into classes and programs, to check into the weight room, to check into any kind of facilities that you're looking to do. All right, so let's go into an actual site here, and I just kind of want to show you some of the high-level things that that a lot of the people have been asking for, and that we've kind of integrated now. So this is where you would go to do your dashboard, and this is accessible anywhere in the world. We are fully PCI compliant. We host everything at two data centers, being Rackspace, which is the data center on the same network that Wells Fargo and Chase and all those banks use. We use all of that same network. Everything is 100% PCI compliant. We don't store credit cards, but you can store credit cards to an account. We do tokenization through different products, whether it be Moneris or Global or Mercury or YesPay. We can integrate to a lot of those companies. Processors, we don't mind who you're utilizing for your processors as long as they connect to one of our gateways, approved gateways. So if I go in here to the actual site, this is kind of the dashboard where you are going to do everything internally. As you'll see, I've got here this favorites list, and this favorites list is kind of neat because it remembers the person who logged in by their username. So access privileges are fully integratable, where every screen on this page here, you can either do a read-only, an edit, or not to be able to view it all. So everything in here, when you go to log in, will remain the same. Reports, if you pull the same report every day, it'll know those criteria that you wanted to pull in the past. So you don't have to go back in and put in all those criteria again. If you at any time want to add in any kind of favorites, then I can just right-click here and add the favorites, and now that is under my favorite now. So I don't have to go through the menu bars. We've made this very, very simple. It reminds me a little bit of Outlook, and that's what we've heard a little bit, and we use it like that is because that's something you're used to seeing at all times. I'm going to go into the scheduling grid and just show you a couple quick things here. If I go into the scheduling grid, you can actually click on the scheduling grid, and this is what's going on for today. Again, this is customizable, where you can change the colors, the fonts. You can actually change the colors of the facilities. You can view by day, week, month, timeline. I don't know why we did the timeline stuff. Our developers thought that was important, but I think it's kind of pointless. I mean, I don't know if anybody uses anything like this, but it looks really weird down here when you have to hover over these things to find out what's going on. But if I go back to the day here, this is showing 3 facilities. Neat thing about this now is you can create facility groups. Again, remembering everything that you did every time you logged into that software. So if you had, Jim's group was in charge of all the soccer fields in the community. You could actually just go into the group and click in Jim's group or whatever. Or if you wanted to create anything that just racquetballs, you could do that. Or you can go through and just pick any different facility you want and set those up as you want here. Simple to do things in the booking here. So let's say I want to do just book out this facility, click, and just hit create event. Or I can double click in it and it will bring in your defaults, your rental defaults, your facility cleanup defaults, all that information. At this point, something that's kind of neat is you can either scan a barcode or you can put anything that has to do with anything of that person's record. So my cell phone number, the middle three numbers are 567. So I put in 567 and went through my whole database and found anybody that was resulted on 567. You can also hit the binoculars here, and it'll pull up all of your different people in here. It figured out my rate levels by everything that could ever come under imagine on this. We brought into residency rate levels, priority rate levels, past experience rate levels, VIP rate levels, weekly, daily, monthly, hourly, prime, non-prime. So there's about 50 different categories that go into your different rate structures. And this is huge because you can accommodate for any customer that you have out there. So I figured out my rate right there was $150. It took it by the 45 minutes. This is an ice rink here, so it took a 45-minute rental and did a 5-minute ice cut. Added in any tax, anything like that from at this point. Now, what you can do here is you can either take a payment, or I can just save this. So now you'll see that this facility has been booked here. At any time, I can go to any one of these bookings and make a payment, send out a confirmation for it via email. Something else that's kind of neat, I can actually take, make this a little bit bigger here. So I've got my Parks and Rec over here in Ontario. So if I hover over that, it's going to tell me everything about this. So it tells me my contract numbers, my booking numbers, it tells you my balances on these, it tells you any schedule notes. Anything that you want to show online, so the caption online is going to show Recreation Software Forum. Everything is customizable in here. I can also go back into this event, and if I wanted to, I can actually set up layouts. So let's say you have pictures of your meeting rooms that you have a U shape for the family reunions, or the kitchen needs to be set up this way. You can actually take images and post those right in there so your maintenance staff can see how they need to set everything up. Locker room assignments, you can do fully automated locker room assignments, either randomly or automatically. And I can take a payment from this screen. I'll show you something kind of neat here is I can actually take this event. I'm just going to drag it down here. So this is going to tell me, it's going through and making sure that there wasn't a change. So this tells me there's a brand new rate here. And the original rate was $100 an hour and the new rate is $0. So at this point, you can either keep the original rate or make the new rate in there. What it's doing is it's making data entries into your general ledger. So it's doing reversing entries on the first, if there was a payment made or not. It is then taking and putting in the new financial transactions for all of this. I'm just going to keep the original rate here. So there I've got my booking here. Again, I can go ahead and make the payment here. And it has you log into a cash register. Everybody's included with a basic cash register. We do have full-blown POS with every kind of functionality that you're looking for. So what it's doing here is it's saying, okay, yep, there's the rental there. So let's say that I want to go ahead and add in a cheeseburger or something. I could do that from here as well. These buttons are fully customizable where you can put images, you can put wording, you can put whatever you need to on those. I'm just going to go ahead and take the payment here. And I'm just going to say he's going to pay the cash. Now, I don't think I have an email address for this person. If I had an email address in here, what it would do is it automatically would send that as an email to the customer. They have it electronically then. You can print the receipt here if you want it as well. I'm just going to go ahead and skip that. So now you'll see that went from red to green. With all of my screens that I show you here, there is different options on how you can do the styles. So if you want to show by balance due, if you want to show by customer type, if you want to show by event type, it's customizable in any way that you want. If I want to just go back here real quick and just show you the facility setup here. Oops. I'll get it right. If I go into my facilities here, the facilities are, again, pretty cool because you can actually take and put in all of your images for each one of your facilities. So when a person's going online and they've never been to your site, never been to your municipality before, they can actually go and say, oh, what's the dance studio like? So it'll show you all the pictures. It'll have all the rate levels. Any of the contracts, full of contracts, are fully editable. You can actually upload your current contracts and waivers into here, have them electronically signed off on those in-house or on signature pin pads. campsites, things like that. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you're looking for on the facility side here. I'm going to get out of here quick. I want to show you online, what the online interface for your customers looks like here. So if I go on to this is my test site. Included with the purchase of our software, we include a full remake of our online site to look exactly like your guys' website. So I've taken just a community that's right next to us where our office is, and taken their website and created it to look like that. So you can do everything that I've shown you in the Max Galaxy site from here as well. So if I just want to go here and click on register for a program, I can actually either put in my catalog numbers, I can search by any kind of keyword that you could ever think of, or I can just say, you know, I just want to see my fitness programs. So here are all the fitness programs that I've got going on. You'll see that I've kind of bold and redded and made this. We do not do any kind of convenience fees, transaction charges, anything like that to use our software. How that goes into is you work with your credit card company on those transaction fees. But we can honestly say that we don't take 1% of any of the transaction, no matter what, in here. The nice thing about that too is the money is deposited in your bank that night. So you'll see I have my classes in here. These are all set up in the back end, very simple to set up. I can actually, if I need more information, I can click this I, and here to show me the schedule of where it's at, the times, who the staff is, if there's any online waivers or anything like that that you want to do in here. So let's say I want to just register for this class. All right, so now I've got here, I've got all my information. Now underneath my family, I've got multiple people. So I've got my wife and my 2 kids. And you'll see in here is I actually took, I'm working with the University of Miami right now, and they actually have this as a real league, Quidditch. But I took their waiver and I actually embedded it into my website. I don't know anything about web development. I took that image and scanned it in and put it in there on the setup site, and this popped up here. So you can see, you can actually accept everything right from here. You can sign for anything. You can actually print these if you want to. Do anything you need to for these. I can go ahead and add to my cart right here. Oh, it says I didn't do this here, so I can go ahead and add that to cart. And then it tells me all the information about it. Now, you'll see up here, you'll have my account, you'll have my edit account, and then my account history. This is something that was huge too. A lot of our customers were sick of people that owed a lot of money outstanding and were never getting anything, and they had excuses. They couldn't come into the municipality, or they didn't have time to swing down there. Well, now you can direct them to your website and say, okay, you owe money, go on there and pay whatever you can right now. So on here I've got 2 purchases and 5 invoices that are open right now. At this point, I can say, you know what, I'm going to pay for this one, I'm going to pay for this one. This one I can only pay $200 on. Go ahead and add this to the cart. At which point, it's going to take you to your shopping cart. Oh. Sorry about that, I had a weird number in there. Okay, so now you'll see in here that all of the things, so there's that Pilates class that I registered for, there's the 2 purchases, and there's that open invoice that I'm paying half on. And go ahead and check out, pay, put my credit card in, all that stuff is wiped from your inside in your internal site. Now if I go over here to my customers, and I pull up, this is pretty cool too. So again, I'm going to put in 678, which are the last 3 of my cell phone number. And here's anybody that has anything to do with this. So I'm going to go ahead and pick me, and you'll see I can go here, and here's all my registrations that I've ever done it. Now this is nice because you can do mass mailing of this. So if I want to send out a mass email to everybody who's been in Lifeguard Training 1, I can do that right from these screens. I can also see every registration that I've ever had, so I've done 16 registrations. If I need to go in here and refund or delete or move this person to a new class, I can do that right from here. Now if I go to my account level, and I'll just type in Jesse. So here are some accounts that pop up. So it shows me that I'm part of a business account and a family account. So now here's everything that has to do with my family, my purchase history. So any purchases, any invoices, if you want to track every Snickers bar that a person buys, you can do that. And you can do these by all these defaults up here. I can go in here and look at my payment accounts. So payment accounts are stored credit cards. So let's say if you want to run a tab for somebody who rents out a lot of facilities and they have their company card, you can actually store it in the gateway and it sends the tokenization over to Max. So it'll always be there. We don't store those numbers though. Also in here you can actually create payment schedules. With every class, program, membership, anything like that, you can actually create a payment schedule for those people. So if they want to pay $500 up front and then disperse the rest over 10 payments, you can allow them to do that. Or you can set them up to say, you know what, you guys can only have 3 months to pay this off and do that from there. Again, credit cards or gift cards and debit cards, you can still use the same little key fob that you're using to check in the gym for all that stuff. All the information can be stored on that. Yeah, you can see priorities. I mean, there's a ton of different things up here. We just don't have the time to go through it all. But custom fields. These custom fields are any kind of questions that you want to ask anybody. And you can have them as drop-down or free-form text. You can create as many of those you want. And those are for your individuals and in your facilities for custom fields. Another thing that's nice about this is you'll see my skill levels. So I'm a lifeguard 1. Anytime that you register for a class or program, and I go into this, and I pull in my lifeguard class. All right, so I go into this class here. You'll see under here, requirements. So in here you'll see any prerequisites or any past skills. So if you have this class, this lifeguarding class, and the instructor goes in and says, all these people pass except for little Johnny. They will gain that pass skill to their individual account. And then they will look at all prerequisites moving forward if you have to have those prerequisites. Again, you can sell memberships with anything. You can really get into the details on things where we weren't able to get to a lot of that stuff before. Scholarships, any kind of discounts, surcharges, multifamily discounts, Groupons, coupon codes, all that stuff you can put in here. How much time do we have left here? 8 minutes. Point of sale. Membership, I kind of showed you this. I'll just really quickly just do a check-in here. I can either scan, so you can see here's all my active events for the day. And then here's all the participants for each one of those classes. So you can see if I go in, it'll show if they have participants for each one of those, and that's kept underneath the registration here. So right here I've got 3 people that are in here and that have not checked in yet, and they'll show if they paid or not. So if I go in and pull in my account, all right, so now I'm going to pull in that account. Any alert messages, so maybe they got in a fight, or maybe they're on suspension, or if they have bad checks on file, or they owe a lot of money, any alert messages you can have pop up wherever you want them to pop up. I just have it on the membership side here. I go ahead here, and I can check in to there at this point. Keeps a running total down here. You'll see that this up here stays for 15 seconds. These are all through your HIPAA and all your different organizations that don't allow data to be stored like that. It goes away. As you can see, it just vanished in there. So, again, we could sit and talk about this all day. I'd like to kind of see if anybody had any immediate questions. I have a booth downstairs, so if you guys do want to go through and take a look at anything else, I can be more than happy to do that as well. Are there any questions?
You mentioned something about the payment processing going to you guys. Are you guys the payment processor? Or
We are not. We partner with, like up here in Canada, Mercury, Global, YesPay. We do a lot with those folks up there. Again, the processor is not as important as the hosted gateway. So those approved gateways that we use can connect to any processor out there.
Are you offering any mobile solutions?
That is going right now. We don't have them available right now. They are full development right now. This is a newer product, so we wanted to get the core applications out. All of the stuff that your customers see, they can go online and use their mobile phones and register for classes and program. It's just, you guys as a municipality can't go in there and start doing things yet, quite.
Do you have golf and you have a restaurant, food and beverage module?
We have the restaurant, food and beverage stuff where it keeps kitchen receipts, it sends the kitchen receipts, you can run tabs, you can do tips, you can do all that stuff with it. The golf course stuff, it's not a full-blown golf course thing, but you can do on the scheduling grid, you can do 6-minute increments on your scheduling. So it's kind of, and you can add the attendees if you have a foursome, things like that. You can put all that in there. It's just not made for golf courses.
The only other module in Alaska is a league.
Correct. League scheduling, and we can get into that a little bit more, but it's a full, I don't know if you've ever seen our other product, but you can actually take and do all your registrations. You're going to be able to do where a captain can go online, set up a team, send out a mass email to everybody who wants on the team where they go in. He can say, okay, you pay 60, you pay 30, you pay 20. You can do all of the kind of the management side for captains and teams, or you can set up the leagues however you want them to be in your organization.
On that same question then, are the people that are populating those teams, do they have their independent family accounts? So you're participating as a league participant and have 4 kids, but I'm the captain. When you populate as a rostered member of my team, does it still show up on your inventory as your family, or is it a separate?
How it does it right now is that it goes under the captain's, the team is under the captain's primary account. It won't put all those individuals under their account, it'll just have them as roster people on the actual league side. So it doesn't go through and put 15 new people under your account, it'll just put them as roster spots on that league. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 2 questions. Obviously, it's browser-based. You say that there's no software required. Is it thin client or is it HTML5 based?
Well, it's Microsoft Silverlight
Okay, so
with a migration to 5 or 6, HTML 5 or 6, depending on. We waited on the 5 and the 6 just because of the bugs and things like that. We went with Microsoft Silverlight, who has another 10 years of supporting that product. But Adobe's already built HTML5 conversions in there, so when we need to, we'll move it right over.
okay, and then browser support, what versions?
We can do any browser. The only one that we've been having issues with is if anybody's using a Mac, Google Chrome. And that's not a Mac's issue, it's the issue with Chrome and Macs. And I, from what I understand, it's supposed to be getting better on that, so.
The staff interface is Silverlight based, right?
Yes.
How about the residence interface, the customer interface? Is that also Silverlight based?
Well, that's a .NET, because that's going through your browser and the website. So we embed those links into your guys' website. So it's .NET on there, and Silverlight is the back end on it. But you can do style sheets, you can do all of whatever you need to do. You can give us style sheets, we can provide you with them.
So would it work on mobile then?
It will, but it just, we don't have apps for it. We don't have like a Mac Solutions app where you can go and do that stuff from there. It's coming though. I will tell you that is our #1 thing we're working on right now.
What's the underlying data?
SQL. Yep.
Do you have a Canadian city?
Do we have Canadian cities? We have 73 clients right now. Currently using the Max Galaxy, we have 1 in Ontario. Just because it's a new product, it's a beta customer we rolled out. We've got a couple sports plexes in the college, but the township of Tiny, do you know them? That's funny. So, Bonita uses our. But no, I'm going to be downstairs if you guys have any other questions. I know that they want us to kind of wrap up.
What were the data centers? You mentioned you had 2.
Yeah, right now we have the rack space for our 2 data centers. We are in negotiations right now with a Canadian data center because of the Patriot Act stuff, and that we know is we have to have that done. So that's a negotiation right now.
job.
Well, thanks everybody, and thanks everyone. I'll give you an overview of what we're doing now and moving forward. It is, we're back on track, it's almost noon. 2.5 hours is scheduled for the luncheon and trade show, which I'm sure from the dialogue this morning that is, all the booths are going to be very well attended. That goes until 2:30. As Michael mentioned this morning, we are regrouping this afternoon at 2:30. 2:30 in the Falls View 1 and 2, which Falls View is on the 3rd floor. Pardon me? A and B, sorry, yeah, it would be hard to find a 1 and 2. And that is where our intent, recap from this morning, is to come back together and talk about what we all just saw for the last few hours, and to start talking about planning and as a sector, what are we looking for to help hopefully work together in all of our upcoming choices and decisions that people are making if they are moving products. And we hope that 2:30, everybody can come to that session. Michael pulled the audience in the morning, and there was a great interest in that. And we do hope that everybody does come back at 2:30. We will have to gauge based on our attendance the approach we take, but it is meant for an open forum and dialogue and a few focused questions on system functionality, on process and changes, and then on sector and individual responsibilities or commitments that you want to put forward if what happened today really interests you and everyone sees value in working together as a sector. So go fill your bellies and go learn a lot more about these products. Thank you.